everyone, my name is Janie Adams and I'm the Curator of Education for the Arizona Historical Society, and today I'll be showing you how to make your own nicho for Dia de los Muertos. So let's go ahead and get started. Dia de los Muertos is an ancient celebration that goes back thousands of years, and it is a day where we pay respects to and remember our ancestors. So for your nicho, all you really need is a box. All the other art supplies can be whatever you have or whatever you like. So here I've got tissue paper, glue, paint, sequins, little foam shapes, and a picture of my ancestors. But you can really use whatever you like or whatever you have on hand. We have also developed this worksheet to help you plan out your nicho a little bit, particularly if you're working with young ones, to help them think about some of their ideas. Remember that if you plan to use a photo of your ancestor, have an adult help you make a copy of that photograph. Photos can be impossible to replace. So this looks a little silly because it's a little sped up, but here I am painting the entirety of the box for my nicho, minus the bottom. My ancestors' favorite color was red, and so I'm going to paint my whole box red in their memory. And this is kind of a messy process, so I'm going to wash my hands and wait for it to dry completely. Remember that if you are going to paint your box, thin layers of paint dry much faster than thick layers of paint. If it looks patchy, you can always add a second coat. So I decided that for my nicho, I'm going to be using tissue paper to create marigolds. So I've got tissue paper, I've got a pencil, and I've got some glue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil and a couple of pieces of tissue paper that I've cut into little squares, and I'm going to shape that tissue paper around the end of my pencil, just like that. And then I'm going to dip that into the glue and very carefully place it onto my nicho. And I'm going to continue to do that until I'm satisfied with what I have. So I'm using colors that look like marigolds, so I've got reds and yellows and oranges, but you can use whatever colors you like. And once I've got my marigolds more or less how I want them, I am going to use my little foam shapes, and I picked green ones, and I'm going to cut the petals apart to make leaves. Here I'm using an X-Acto knife, but you might want to have an adult help you do this, or you might want to use a pair of scissors. And I'm just going to cut all of those petals apart. so they look like little leaves. And then I'm going to dip them in glue and place them on my nicho near my marigolds. And I'm just going to keep adding leaves until I'm happy with the way that it looks. So there are lots of symbols associated with Dia de los Muertos, and some of those symbols include marigolds, but also skulls and skeletons or butterflies. And so once I've glued all my leaves down, then I'm just going to add the copy of the picture of my ancestor, and I'm going to glue it to the back. And then to add a little extra sparkle and a little extra pizzazz, I'm going to very carefully glue sequins around the picture to create almost like a picture frame. And I'm just picking whatever sequins I think are pretty or whatever sequins fit with the color scheme of my nicho. So religious symbols like crosses and pictures of saints are commonly used on nichos, but you don't have to include any of those religious symbols if you don't want to. And this is my finished nicho. I've added a couple labels on the top and bottom, naming my ancestor and their relationship to me, and it's all done. Happy crafting!